where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time, where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Hi, it's Sylvia of Colorful Foresight, and it's woo woo time. So I noticed I just did a video before, and it had no sound. So even doing this one, second take, started with no sound. So what are we not being heard when it comes to the woo woo bravado? So last week, Anna and I did a video about I explained it to her, being uncomfortable with expressing my woo woo. So I figured we'd do the cards from the ace to the 10 of cups. So I'm going to mix it up. So it's not going to be in order because we're going to go with the collective energy. So part two, what is this woo woo bravado about? It's obviously about us not being heard. There's many reasons why we may hide it, whatever that is. You know, because you're listening for you, right? So the first card we got of the 8 to 10, we got the 7 of cup. 7 cup is like a confusion. How to be with our woo-woo. How do we connect our woo-woo into our mundane living? This is not just for the spiritual people who are up and they're great with it and they know how to just be themselves. This is everybody in between. And woo-woo doesn't have to be just metaphysical. It could be religious or anything, really, when it comes to how we connect with the universe around us. So choosing which path will I be? If you're not being heard, it's hard to be fully understanding yourself, what the woo is about. The next card is the 10 of Cups. Ideally, it's about really connecting within and around you, right? With the 10 of Cups. So I, along with the 3, with the 10 of Cups from 8 to 10 in that family, I did 3 random cards too to help support it. So what is it about? Well, think about it. If you're hiding your woo-woo or an aspect to yourself, there's no universal exchange, give and take, the 6 of Pentacles. How you are, if you're hiding, that's what the universe is going to bring out. You're not going to have that full flow, right? And we want that full flow. High Priestess, you can't make that up. That's somebody who's very in tune with their woo-woo bravado. If you're hiding, how could you fully embrace your intuition? You don't have to be out and about it. But there's a lot of people hiding it because, again, for many reasons. One thing that comes to mind is bias, worrying how it looks. Certain family is not in their religion and things like that. Page of Wands, communicating. When we're communicating, you get more of this. You're communicating, you're being yourself, even within your community. That's why there's so much confusion about what the woo-woo is. There's so many videos on YouTube. It's very mainstream to be spiritual. But there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation. That's why with that, people interpretation of the woo, then the people who are not for the light that doing those woo-woo video acting as light. Then you got the artificial intelligence. This is very important to connect from within all that, because that will lead you the right way. If you understand your intuition, because you can have your mind that's acting as an intuition. So being confused about it, let's choose better. We got a 7 of Cups and a 10 of Cups. Hi, Teresa, I see you. Anything you want to add to it, you're more than welcome. So the next card we got, the 4 of Cups. So again, you have seen me talk about this before. Here the universe is providing. Hi, Sha. Here the universe is providing you the information and your intuition, but you're not listening to it. You're focusing on this. This could be you being distracted, not knowing how to connect with intuition, your bias, you being, conditioned with other people's belief system and things like that. So how to be with your woo-woo bravado. You don't have to be woo-woo to be brave. 9 of Cups. That's when ideally you want to be I'm getting more confident as I do this videos because I realize watching me, what am I about? Because a lot of time I'm in my monkey brain. So when I watch myself do the video, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So that's why some of you who do videos, you learn about yourself by doing the videos and things like that. I know Shao women that woo type of video. So going back to give and take, if you're not allowing yourself to embrace your woo woo, how can the universe give you fully? Right? The six of coins, you give and you receive. If you're giving half-ass, you're going to receive half-ass. I hope we could say that word. Again, utilizing your intuition, getting to know yourself better, and allowing that communication to flow. Right? I hope that word was allowed to be said. So after the Nine of Cups, we're walking away, the Eighth of Cups, we're walking away. We might even be walking away from what we think are metaphysical or spiritual or whatever into something maybe a different way, maybe a more pure way of what spirituality is, whatever that means. For some of you may go into nature more, not even do like the tarot and oracles and things like that. Whatever, long as benevolent in nature and it's where we're supposed to be heading, as we evolve into the golden age and to the next step of evolution. Here we got the Three of Cups. When we get more comfortable in our woo-woo bravado, we meet more people around us that's similar to us. And you might even, without even trying to convince anybody, that energy that you're in of being yourself, you open people energy up around you. They just want to be around you, and you're going to experience more people who just like being around you, whether they're into the woo-woo or not. I didn't know that I'm talking to people in the chat room. I didn't know she had a channel too, but she was on the Tipsy Tea, and she didn't know either. So this woman, it's interesting how you came on the Woo Woo Bravado. She doesn't talk about how she had this channel. Child, we should know. So the Five of Cups. What are you getting? Ain't no thing. I don't promote. Okay, cool. Not everybody has to. That's exactly the point. The Five of Cups, what do you get for that in regard to Woo Woo Bravado, Shaw Woman? And Teresa, anything comes to mind? It's interactive. Some people just look very organic. The Lycia deck, yeah. I know, we're on to you. So what I got is when I was hiding or I couldn't be comfortable with where I am, I end up having thought what I thought Woo Woo Bravado is. But more I do the video, more it come out slowly, and especially so mainstream, kind of safe to do so. I guess if you live in a small town or certain things, it's not safe, but it's safe for me to do so. The more I come out, I blossom, just because I'm allowing myself to be, not because I do Woo Woo Bravado stuff. Yeah, it does look like a portal. What do you think? It's like going into the rabbit hole. Now that she's exploring, I would think it open up your world that way, although you don't know where that may go. But better than being restricted and staying hiding. So it's a Six of Cups. Again, if we were taught how to be in tune since childhood, everybody's intuitive. Some people do have to work to be like psychic, or some people path are psychic, so it's a little bit more, but we're energy beings, so every single person are intuitive. Some may show up at your gut feeling. Some people have hunch. Some people see, feel, hear. Loyalty. Down in a hole, Alice and Shane come to mind. Loyalty. I think it's a loyalty to yourself. I didn't realize I was dismissing myself. I mean, if I was living in a time of, even like 20 years ago, if I was living in a time, especially back when they had the Salem witch trial, you couldn't really be yourself in some country. God forbid if you're not whatever that religion is in that country, you can literally get killed over it. So there's a lot of reason why people don't show their woo-woo bravado. So it's understandable. You have to do your best. So Two of Cups, but once you do embrace it, look at that. Life just embrace you. It might even help with your love life because you get to know yourself more, help your friendship with others. I'm meeting you guys who are in the comment right now. Yeah, well, in Shah, she's also a lesbian, so she understands about like the comfort. Can she be herself or not, and yada yada yada, depending where you're at. And the Ace of Cups. So ideally, we ended with the Ace of Cups. Usually we begin with the Ace of Cups, and I just shuffled it. There's not in order. Once we get into our woo-woo bravado, we're really in our heart. You're really on heart. But Cha in the comments, she mentioned because of what she is as a lesbian, she had death threats. So of course, why some people don't come out with that woo-woo bravado, or they don't come out because, they're into, there's so many, the ism group, why they're afraid to be themselves fully. But thankfully at this time frame, depending where you live, you are able to be yourself more. Yeah. So, but somehow, some way, we're talking contact to spirituality, at least for yourself. Embrace it. I find now that I'm able to do this channel, as I mentioned, I'm blossoming. And it's not necessarily like I'm going out there promoting spirituality, but me as a person, me, in my regular everyday life, I'm blossoming. Who knew? I also was raised Catholic, and I live at home, and I have to respect my mother and all that stuff. But so I felt to do this topic for some reason. So what should we do, Shah? Shah said she looked a certain way, so people assume. So you made it so obvious, huh? You know how some people, like in the woo-woo community, they have like all that metaphysical stuff that's so obvious. You can't help it. You're just being yourself, you know? So we'll add more cards. If you want to contribute, you're more than welcome. Shah said she doesn't run around in rainbow pants. She's not that obvious. She's just being herself. That's good. There's some people that really like overdoing it, If that's what they are, that's one thing. Like somebody very metaphysical, or they just happen to be obviously gay, or they're obviously this but they're being authentic about it, then so be it. But there's some people who just like make it more than it is. Unnecessary. But we all have drama in us, right? It shows up one way or another. She was thinking, Shah was saying, I was thinking bravado versus pride. Bravado is like, not like a arrogant way. It's like, I have to be myself, especially at the time where we can, a little bit more and more. Versus pride, I don't know. I see it. It might be different for each person. Let's go over here. A show of bravery or defiance, often in order to make false impression or mislead someone. Pretentious, boldness or bravery, arrogant or boastful, menace, swaggery, defiant. Oh, Teresa happened to be, you know what, Teresa, if you were not a lesbian, you're a tomboy, people assume that. I know that. I've seen it. Like some men, they may be straight, but they're kind of like metrosexual, so sometimes they may assume, but sometimes they are. They actually are gay. Like you're saying, you're actually a lesbian. But let's go to bravado. When I'm talking about the woo bravado, I'm talking about being brave. It takes bravery, not like an arrogant way. Pride, what do you think when you hear about pride? Because I would think pride, sometimes it's not a bad thing, but it can be a bit much. Like that's so annoying about it. Like you have to do this, you have to, wave the smoke around your face, and you have to do tarot, and or you have to like accept me because I'm, uh, I'm LGBTQ. I better not get longer. That's long enough. That's 5. Okay, no more letters. I want to make sure I'm saying them right. Okay. So they're good and bad in each thing. So see, everybody had different definition of what they see words are. I saw it differently, and she see pride as value and self-respect. I could see that. Shaw said, "Oh, honey, there's so many more letters. Please, too many labels. Like everybody's like, I don't want to be in label. I don't want to be just gay or straight or this. So now they created even more labels, and it's like 20 labels. I'm straight, but I'm gonna just call myself Sylvia. You're just gonna call yourself Shah. It's like too many. Now you don't want to be in a box, which I get. You want to be fluid, but now you have so many labels. It's freaking confusing. So she put, okay, I don't even know what the last 2. So you're gonna have to educate me. So we have LGBTQ. That's far as I went, and then she added LGBTQIA. What I stand for. Oh, see, Shaw said I'm old school and I don't get it. Just because of the new ism group, whatever, like women, that they have so much empowerment that they're belittling men. It's a younger thing because they don't know what it's like. Like we're in the middle. We're from old school, new school, so we understand. Then you have the LGBTQ are like, you better call me this late. Look, you want me to call you the person, you want me to call you Pan or whatever, awesome. But don't force me to not be called a woman, and you're making me be called birthing. There's a difference. Or asexual. I know somebody, one of my friends is asexual. She always had crushes on guys and stuff that are surprised, but she just enjoy them. She has a lot of friends. She's just asexual. She doesn't label it or go around saying she is. No. Yeah, it's okay, Cha. I get it. We could but it's actually good because this actually goes with the woo bravado. Like even with spirituality, there's so many labels. I feel like we even got messy within the spirituality. It's like we don't want to be labeled, we don't want to be restricted, but then we created all these other things. So it takes a while for people to get used to. Yeah, I know. I don't want to go into that either. I get it. I'm not mentioning that. That's a whole different topic. But that really goes with a lot of different ism group. It's just different vibe, like the new generation with it. That's really true. Sometimes you have to have bravado just to deal with hatred. Sometimes just to be yourself, and it's not just about with the woo-woo bravado. Well, woo-woo doesn't have to be just metaphysical. Christian, other religion we consider like you're way too woo-woo because they're so like out there, but they connect and it's real to them. So that's a whole different. No, I just think the younger generation are more fluid in general. They're picking up like spirit is really androgynous in nature, and even like the other ism group, they don't know really what it's like before. We're old school, new school, so they have this like, well, you better be this way. Like if you're a woman and you're empowerment, they're like masculating men. Or if you're like LGBTQ, they're like telling you, listen, I want to be this, which is fine, whatever you want to call it. But then they're forcing us to be called that. That's where I draw the line. And then the pride, like white pride, and it's like non-white pride. I mean, it's so many levels. Like it's just getting too much. But I think with all this like going too left to the right, somehow we're going back to the middle, like finding the spot, the sweet spot. I'm an X2, Generation X. Teresa, what are you? What are you? Let's label. What what gen are you? Are you? You're not a Z. Pride. I guess you're just proud. I always see pride as like some people are proud that they're spiritual and they're so woo woo bravado, and it's great. But then they're like really somewhat spiritually arrogant about it. And then like if you have Italian pride, oh, you're happy to be Italian, or you never say white pride because then it's not like you're trying to be white supremacist. But it's okay to say I'm Polish pride, I'm Italian pride, I'm Spanish pride, have black this, which is great because everybody needs empowerment. But then it goes to the extreme where like we're the best, we're the only way. Yeah, we're all the same page. Oh, I might be the youngest out of you too. Early 50s. What are you? Child? Yeah, father 100% Sicilian. A little, that definitely have pride. So it's okay to have labels, just like LGBTQI. It's just so much after all. I have to keep up. At least with the generation, with like one label per generation. Now it's like fluidity. I just prefer to be like, I'd rather have like gay, straight, trans, and pansexual. Pansexual means, but not true, because then you have asexual and all that. You know what? With the new generation, they'll understand it. They'll figure it out. We're just like we're like in the middle of it. You know how when there's something popular, the phrases, the new way of being or something, even spirituality was so popular, people like make it, they kind of ruin it, but then it goes back to the middle. I added a letter. I added the P, right? Did you see Wayne? What's his name? Wayne, that's a great comedian. He came out pansexual. Oh, I'm not adding the other P there. No way. So that's the same thing with the woo-woo bravado. Not just about the metaphysical. There's so many. Maybe we could change it to the woo-woo bravado, not just spirituality, but anything that's woo-woo in general. Anything that's out there. For some, technology is so like scientists or tech people, they're so advanced that they come off woo-woo. Like, whoa, you're totally woo-woo. Now we're going to a different area. But then like 5 years later, we catch up. Like when they first came out with the iPhone, they were like so woo-woo. Like, what? How you use this thing? What? Blah, blah, blah. And then it became like the new normal. Yeah. I love when I see trans people, I see lesbians and or gay, they're like, I don't even understand the new pronoun. Because that's real. Like when I see as a woman and I see women empowerment, some of these women, they really abuse the men. Like you owe me, you know what I mean? Like there's so many ism groups. And I'm always been for the ism group. I came from the 70s. Remember the 70s was always like every 5 years things were improving. So everything was always improving. You couldn't have an interracial relationship, but now you could. But now everything seemed like it's going backward by the conservative. So I would always for supporting the ism group. But what happened is then each ism group got so empowered, but there was some like especially younger generation, they don't even know what it was like before. So they're like expecting like my way or the highway and all that. And that's where the lines get blurred. So in some way, I can see why the conservatives are fighting back. They're good and bad to both sides and all sides. But you know how it is, if it's too much to the left or too much to the right. So this video ended up being about a lot of different things. But the woo-woo bravado, I meant it in the context of you're going to blossom because I'm doing these videos and I notice how I blossom because I'm allowing myself to be. Even though I had family, friends, but I didn't know myself because I kind of just held it to myself. Every generation thing gets easier. You hope so. You hope so, because sometimes we evolve and sometimes we de-evolve. You know. So, but we're gonna continue with that good thinking. I like that. You know, Shah, at one point she said, the two people in the comment, they're like, why don't you even care if you're straight or gay? And then Shah, it's like, I have no idea. It's like if a person black and white. And then said, I think we're de-evolving. Some of us, not all of us. That's where we are nurturing the evolution. The problem is that some of the progressive, and I'm a Democrat independent, so progressive that they act dumb. Just like some people who are so right, they act dumb. And then they room for everybody in between. You know what I mean? So, not all of us, absolutely. You didn't hijack it. This is somehow all related, the woo-woo bravado. Although I meant it in context of spirituality, all the ism group is considered out there. Just like technology or like robots, the things seem very out there for us. But in 5-10 years, be nothing. Remember like 20 years ago? And they used to show this on the original, it is not Star Wars, the other one with Spock and all that. They used to have like the tablet thing and phone in the 60s, and it seemed so out there, so woo-woo. They were brave. The the tech people, scientists, try and promote things that are way in the future. You see how the woo-woo comply to, I guess, our spirit guide trying to show us how woo-woo, bringing that woo-woo into our mundane living. It goes in so many different areas. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what she said. I think I'd rather just be simply brave than have bravado. Okay. To be woo-woo is bravery or something. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I'd rather just simply, I already said that. Yet bravado requires strength as the bravery does, for sure. Pride would always feel like it's like a group effort. Bravado could be like an individual thing, maybe. I like brave better than bravado. Bravado sound cocky. Okay. What would be the title then? The woo-woo bravado. What would it be? To be brave, to be woo-woo. What would you call it? Well, cocky. It always sounds weird to say that word, but so how the title would be then? Tell me a better title if you want just brave in it. This is what you guys like. I don't know what the title should be. The Seven Cup. How could we add woo-woo and brave into the title? That's where you're at right now. It sounds like a fancy word for something that's a little mean. Oh, yeah, it's woo-woo bravado. Oh, Teresa was the female trucker. So brave was good. I imagine. Oh no, I'm learning about bravado and woo-woo. I have no idea. I just come up with titles. I just, but I never thought of it. It sounds like a fancy word for something that's a little mean. Maybe I'm like, maybe the part of me like, listen, I'm woo-woo and you have to deal with it. Meanwhile, we're all woo-woo. I just realized that we talk about all these other ism group to anything that's out there that's futuristic, trendy. It's selective perspective. That would have been a good title. Oh, she shows such bravado. People be like, what the hell is she talking about? It's a woo-woo bravado. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So here we are trying to come up with the title. We still haven't figured out. Three of Pentacles. We're working at the team here between Teresa, Shah, and me. When you get tired of people messing with you, woo-woo, then you need bravado to counteract it. Woo-woo, right? Because whatever people consider woo-woo, like out there, right? Not just spirituality. Like for some people, having green hair, oh my God, she's so out there. So now she's fancy. She's like, I have bravado, and you're gonna have to like it. No, it doesn't. I wouldn't go there. Treats look like bravado sounds like Barbie doll types. Really? Maybe in that movie. I feel like I'm getting education on bravery and bravado. Did you learn anything from this last 30 minutes? I don't know if I learned anything. I learned that woo-woo could mean so many ways. It's like anything that's out there, right? Until it becomes mainstream. What's new? Out of the box? Nothing new with that woo-woo bravado, right? Remember like 10 years ago, 10 years ago used to be go out of the box. And that was like considered out there, like out of the box. For some people, it's woo-woo, especially when you use the context of scientific and technology. I mean, even just straight gay and lesbian and then trans would consider out there, right? Now it's like people finally accepted it more or less, and then they added all these other letters. They're like, what the hell? And I think it only got bad when some of the younger ones like, well, you better call us this. And not only that, we're gonna like, why do I have to be called CIS female? Can I just be called female? Like they're labeling it a little too much. They're kind of messing it up for themselves. I don't mind the letters, the 5 letters. It's just like if they keep going, you might as well just say a word to fit everything in between, you know? Like gay, straight, trans, and fluid. Keep it simple. But then, asexual and not fluid, they're not even sexual. Yeah, but I don't like that. Why complicate it? Just call woman and man. Like, come on. That's when I'm getting annoyed. Like, if you want to be called that, great. I don't care if you want to be called they, she, I'm all for it. I'm for it. Yeah, who came up with that? Men. Gay or straight, men. See, and then my female, like, meanness come out. Yeah, like, what the hell? Human. Yeah, thank you very much. So even with the woo-woo and spirituality and Christian or your Muslim and all that, this labeling, it's good for us because we need to help identify just to make it different, but it really is restricting. But now we're really labeling everything. It's just too much. Human. Like I said, after a while, they're going to be like, what's your name? And what are you? I'm going to be like, I'm Sylvia. All down the line. What are you? Sylvia, 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 Sylvia. You know what I mean? Just keep it simple. Or we're going to just say human, 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 human. What's your name? Human. What is your sexuality? Human. What is your age? Human. Anyway. I think that's one of the good things that's coming out of this. The ultra conservative trying control, or the progressive going so weird. Like, not weird. I don't like that word. But they're like getting like, you better do it. Just like the ultra conservative, like, you better do it. It's really a big turnoff. And that same thing with spirituality, like, oh, you don't burn candles, or oh, I know more than you, or I'm more involved. If anything, you know how it is, the ascension process and all that. Not easy. Hell. But now hopefully we'll have more light come in again and things move forward. I can get bravado if someone is messing with someone. I know who is LGBT. What happened to the Q? You didn't add the Q and the P and the P and the A and I? You left out those other people. I'm just joking. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, You have to get brave. I think woo-woo for certain people, it's bravado. Like for me, I, why should I be what I was raised to be when I don't feel related to that? So in a way, I had to be bravado. I had the bravado attitude, and it could have came off even a little mean or arrogant. But I realized that as long as spirituality works for you, benevolent nature, you know, pushing on others, you know, things like that. You have loyalty to the community. Oh, great. I have support from women because I am a woman, a female, not a cis female. Leave me alone. Added more vocabulary. It's complicated. It's complicated. Excuse me. You know, Democrat needs to speak up too. You know, like yes, we're supportive of you, but you're just going too much, and you're giving the fire to the extreme conservative to hate you for no reason. Well, yeah, I was surrounded by straight people. Didn't really know what a lesbian was because I was raised Catholic and went to private school. I'm always amazed, but it makes sense, especially your age group that you mentioned. Um, some people actually just never knew. It was very suppressed. And that's including going back to Woo Woo Bravado, by me allowing to be myself more. I'm learning about myself with intuition and things in my personality I never knew because I was sort of like hiding and suppressing it. So how was I able to learn about myself? Oh, you can't. Child came out almost in her 30s. But what's interesting that you didn't know, right? I met somebody else who was the same way. She didn't really know. Like a lot of time people know, but they just kind of avoided it or they denied it. And then she said, so many people ask her why you think you're gay. That would be same thing like some people say, why you think you're spiritual or why you're this or why you're that. You know, people just don't understand. Shot said that bravado will come out and be like, well, why you think you're straight? You just are. Some people think, honestly, Cha, I know some people they don't discriminate gay or straight, but they really believe that gay people choose to be gay. I think you might choose it if maybe they think could maybe have sexual abuse or whatever. But I don't believe that. I believe like most people, 98% were that way. Maybe the 2% because they think it's cool, you know, whatever, just like she was attracted to women but thought that was normal. More just appreciating how they look or act. Yeah, you know, you're like you said, you're from old school, new school, and you just never explored it. Yeah, you know, it may be true in some cases, but it's not like that in all cases, you know? Just like anything, all across the board. Like some people may not even be asexual, but they choose to be because they were sexually abused. But I know somebody who I said, oh, she wanted to be in a relationship, but she was sexually abused badly by men. And she's like, I just want a partner, but I don't know if I can handle the sex part or anything. I said, do you want like an asexual partner? Because they are, they but while we were joking around. And she was like, yeah. And then she goes, it's not that I'm asexual. It's just, you know, you have to be so it's like for some people it's that and some people it's not. You know what I mean? Like she wants somebody. She wants a partner, but she had just so much trauma. And I said, I told her, I said, even a nice guy wants sex. So, you know what I mean? It's just part of like biology, but biological. But thankfully she's young. I said, you have time, you know. She have to wait another 7, 8 years. She's in early 20s. There's no rush for her. I know. We're not going to go there. Yeah, it could go on. If people want to look at the chat room after the video is done. Yeah. You know what? It's just like anything. Abuse can make people from all spectrum how they react and respond to life after. It varies. So tell me, now that we're going to end this video soon, and we figured out that the WoO Bravado can be in so many different levels, just anything that's outside the box. But I really intended in the beginning of the video be about spirituality. So since you're both, like, I know Teresa's very into going to the different spiritual YouTube channel. I know Shah is as well, and you have your own channel. Where are you guys out about your spirituality? Or like, I don't go to my family go, hey, I'm spiritual. I used to do like bring the cards and stuff, but I stopped doing that. I just don't have interest. Now I just want to be with my family, to chill, talk about the weather, enjoy, cousin event together. But are you, like, for me to go out and do these videos was a big deal for me. Like, for some people, it's not a big deal. I mean, there are so many videos out. No, we didn't go through the decks, just from 8 to 10. But I feel like we went through the deck to the whole different boo-boo area. Your family, okay, so Shah said her family don't know about her YouTube channel, but do they know, like, in your regular life that you're into that? Because not everybody who's boo-boo has the channel. I know, I love this deck too. The Lights There. Whoops. Lights There by Chris Ann. I have the traditional Rider-Waite, but I don't know where it went. And I'm waiting to manifest other cards. I think I might just make my own. I bought a whole deck, blank deck, and just make a drawer, put words on it, things like that. So, Teresa, do your family know, or your people around you know you're into all this spiritual boo-boo stuff? And you, Cha, besides your family not knowing about your YouTube channel? At least you know you're woo-woo. You're not hiding it. Now, Cricket, now you two can talk? What happened? Cricket, Cricket, Cricket. Walk, walk, walk. Ah, they speak. My family don't know I watch woo-woo, but my friends do, and my daughter knows. That's all that matters. You don't have to tell everybody. I mean, really. Oh, so a lot of people, and at Fort Shaw, a lot of people don't even know that you're gay. They just think you're a tomboy, right? Because there's a lot of straight tomboy women. You do what's comfortable for you, Especially, I don't know where you're living, depending what town you are, what belief system. Maybe just don't want them to know. It's not their business. What the heck that mean? I henpeck type. Mean like you choose who to know, like who to know. I think we all do that, like be ourselves around certain people. Unless I misunderstood. What does that mean, a henpeck type? I'm asking for clarity. I'm not going to go to the card to ask for clarity. I hope for you who watching this, you find this interesting. Oh, that's all you. That's it. They already think you're crazy, Teresa. So yeah, it may not. You admitting this may not be a big deal. One finger, henpeck type. Oh, that's how you type the computer. That's why it's so slow. Oh, I get it. Ah. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up with one card, and then we're done. Nice to meet you, Cha. And hope I do this once a week. The interactive is only going to be until the end of August because usually pre-recorded it's Google time. But I also do political enlightenment, and I do current event like on a Thursday. I'm going to start doing on a Saturday, like at 1 o'clock. Just so much easier to do live. And I like where people get involved. Sometimes I ask them, pull out the card and read with me. One time I invited somebody in. So we're ending with the 4 of Cups. Look at that. It's telling me, are we listening to our intuition, our insight, our gift? If it's not just about being intuitive, what the video is about, you might be the next person to discover a new way of something. So listen from that versus being in a box, like belief system, what society think it is, and all that. You always have like these inventors, they get laughed at and all that, and sometimes they end up doing very well in the end. Not bad content, correct. This is really interesting, right? See, you thought you were just adding something random, and I took it as, oh, this must be something bigger, this idea of woo-woo bravado, because that's how I think. Not just random thing. I am LGBTQPLWABC. I have fun chatting too. Yeah, exactly. What outside think versus what you think of self. But as you notice, sometimes you get so out there that we need time to catch up. There are reasons for evolution, but you can't force anybody. And then what happened is people start retaliating, which we're seeing with the ism group. There's a lot of men that are being inaccurately accused. Can women feel like they could take advantage of that? You got some LGBTQ like forcing us to have different names. If one thing they want to be called that, that's great, but don't force it on others. Interracial relationship. What happened is like you're having like you're either for white people or you're either for non-white people, and there's too much pride, and then they make fun of the other, or they no, you know what I mean? It's like too much. What happened to ism group getting too much? What were the other ism group? Religion and spirituality. Um, we finally allowing people to have their own belief system, but then people are still pushing it. Like the Christians. Yeah, it's all ego stuff. So what happening is we need to go back in the middle, like I said. But going back to, we're wrapping up the video with the 4 of Cups. Let's continue to listen to that inner voice, whatever, to allow and be feeling safe in your woo-woo bravado, whatever that means, or bravery. Okay. Until then, take care. Bye.